This is the Autel MK808S and we're going to plug it in today, see what it's capable of. So this unit comes at a really good price. You can check out the links in the description below. There's always different offers on. However, we've had a play with this already and it really gives you professional level diagnostics, which we are going to dive into in a minute. This is what you get in the box. You get a charger and OBD cable. Nothing else more you need than that. But always nice to have the hard case to keep the tool in good condition. So here it is, very nice handheld unit. And as we said, this is the version with the hardwired cable. Now, some people might be wanting the wireless version, but what I found with this, actually, the benefits that come with this, you're not going to leave it, you're not going to forget it in the car. The other thing is, every time you plug it in, it charges it up, so you're actually not going to be charging it as often either. It's always going to be ready to go. So they were the positives that I had come up with for having the cable version. So it was really quick and easy to set up once you plugged it in, and you get 1 year of updates free included with the tool. When you first log in, you're going to want to go to the update section and make sure that all of the updates are ready and available. As you can see, there are already more updates since I first turned the tool on, but we should be able to work it with what we've got now. Here you can see $125 a year for a new subscription, which is, you know, really good value. So let's get this thing connected up. So we're connected up to the car, and first of all what we get is this little green light indicated there. It's like a little symbol of a car to show us that we've connected up to a vehicle. And we're going to go into Diagnostics. This is where most of the main features that you'll use can be found. What we're then going to do is press this blue icon up here. So this is going to automatically find the vehicle. Now, something else to note from this screen, you've got this EOBD. That will take you to the generic OBD diagnostics, which is also quite useful when dealing with engine management problems. Sometimes you see different fault descriptions in there, different live data that's not in the what we could call the manufacturer's diagnostics. So we're going to hit the blue icon there and auto detect, and it's come up with the options for Ford and Ford EU. We are Ford EU, and it's picked up the chassis number, and there we've got the vehicle as well. So that's the vehicle details just there. Confirm if that's correct. This part's taken a little while to go into the vehicle. We have tested this with the top of the range system as well, and it does also take a little bit of time. So we will speed up certain sections of this just to make the video a little bit easier to watch. However, if there are parts that take a real long time, then we'll let you know. So this is the main vehicle page then. We're going to come back to this in a minute. For all your diagnostics, live data, fault codes, things like that, we're going to go into Diagnosis. And we've got either control unit or auto scan. So if we go to control unit, it will just bring up the list of control units and it won't check the fault memory. However, if we go to auto scan, it's going to go in there and start scanning the vehicle and checking all the fault codes. So let's see how long this takes. Okay, here we are then. So what we've done now is we've picked up a big list of all of the control units that are on the car, and actually all of the control units that could possibly be on the car. So you can see here, look, we've got body control module, a fault, powertrain control module, pass, no fault. However, transmission control module says no response. So that's just something to be careful of. This car hasn't got a transmission control module, so it doesn't mean that it didn't communicate. However, if you've got a communication problem with one of these modules, expect lots of communication faults in all of the other modules. So that's just an easy way to tell if you've got a problem or not. So there's our big list of control units, and from this page then you can generate a report, or you can quickly erase all of the fault codes on the vehicle. We're going to go into the module, so just click that arrow And then this is going to bring up the options that we can do inside that particular module. So we've got ECU information. This will be like part number codes, software codes, things like that. And then we've got read codes. So what we're going to do there is see what this fault code is for. Hopefully nothing serious. And what I just noticed there is that some of the lights and the horn was activated. It's actually going through all of the features there to make sure that they're working. That horn did scare me a bit there. You'd see me jump if the camera was on me. So here we go then, we've got a few different fault codes here. That's interesting. Park brake apply switch. This hasn't got an electric parking brake, so it might be something different to that. And then we've got fog lamps fault and a door ajar switch. So it does have fog lamps. Let's see if they are working or not. So here we are, look, right fog lamp is okay, left fog lamp not working. So of course you would need to fix them before you delete them, but if we just click on it there, it should just give us a bit of information on that fault code itself. It's saying short circuit to battery or open circuit. If you want to know more about diagnosing stuff like this, check out the Diagnostic Coach program in Mechanic Mindset. We're giving away a free multimeter with annual sign-ups right now, and it will tell you all about how to diagnose things like that. So we've also got down here DTC guide. Let's see what happens when we press that. Oh, it's just giving us that information for that fault code. So it was the same as pressing this button here. It just told you what was wrong with it. We can also then search that fault code as well. So if we hit search, it's just going to Google the fault code, which, let's face it, when you're not sure, that's probably what all of us do. But that will take you to the Google page for the results of that fault code for that vehicle as well. So they're not always the same fault codes for different cars. They could mean slightly different things. So if we come out of here now, we can erase the codes if we want to. We've got the active test, so we can activate things. So let's see what we've got on the list here. I'm just trying to see if we've got our right headlamp high beam. Let's see if we can activate that. So I'll click activate and we'll have a look at it here. Okay, activate, and you can see that that's come on there. So it's nice to see that working. So we've got live data there as well, but what I'm going to do is go over to the engine control module to have a look at the live data, because the live data is one of the things I really love about the Autel units. So if we go into live data here, it's just going to take a while to pull out all of the information. I did notice it takes quite a while on the bigger units as well, the more expensive units. So sometimes it's the car that takes a long time and not necessarily the tool, but sometimes that's not true, especially when it comes to scanning the vehicle. When we plug the top of the range one into this car, it scans the vehicle in, I think it was about 10 seconds. Okay, so here's our list of data. One of the other things I really like about the Autel is that it displays all of the live data, you know, without having to select it, okay? So what we'll do is we'll select a few of these on here, and I'll show you my favorite thing about this. So we've got airflow meter. If you click the tab at the top there, it opens this extra bar and we can search. So let's search for, I was looking for the throttle pedal because that's a nice one to show. We've got a few different ones here. We'll just go for that one there and click off that. Now all these ones that we've ticked already should be saved. What else can we do there? Maybe let's search for pressure. We've got refrigerant pressure. Looks like something like fuel pressure maybe. Another tip for scanning through Autel data is look at the units on the side. So of course, if you're looking for a value of pressure, it's going to have a pressure unit. This is showing kilopascals. So it's just easier to scroll through quicker and look for the fuel pressure. So we've got there, look, commanded fuel rail pressure, commanded boost pressure, fuel pressure sensor raw, okay? So now we've selected 3 bits of data, I'm going to click this here to show selected, and you can see that it's pulled up all 3 parts of our data. Now, one of the cool things is that you can select how you see that data. So this one here we can put as like a bar chart. So if we press on the pedal, we should get like a bar like that. Or you can also view it as a graph, and it should adjust the value like that. So 2 nice ways of looking at that data. What we can also do is merge all 3 of these bits of data, and in fact you can do up to 4 bits of data into one big graph. So there now, look, we've got graph merge. It still gives you the data at the top. It's a little bit small to see, but it does show it. So what I'm going to do is just start up the engine, rev it up, and see what we get. In fact, what I'm going to be able to do is come back and review it. Okay, so the engine's just idling there now. If we rev it up, that was just a snap throttle, and now we're just gently increasing the throttle there with a little snap. So you want to try and keep the ignition on while you're reading the live data, in between starting and stopping the engine, just so you don't lose it. Now what I'm going to do is hit the freeze button, and what it does is it brings up this little scroll bar at the bottom, and what that means is that you can just scroll back through it. It's a bit difficult to get my finger on the actual slider. I was having this problem before actually. There we are. So once you kind of get hold of it, and you can go through, look, and review that data. In fact, it's started recording that data since we did the first bit. So look, this was with the engine off when we were looking at it earlier on. So it's actually saved. If we look down there, it might be difficult for you to see it. 4 minutes of data has been saved already. Really love that feature. It's really good for like road testing and things like that. You know, it's just a really nice thing to be able to do. You can also make it a full screen like that, so you can see the graph a little bit better. It's a little bit more space, but not much. What we've also got up there is the option to change the colours and the line thickness. Here you can change the X and the Y axis. So the Y axis is the vertical part, so you can only change it for all of them, okay, which it usually just automatically does that. And you can also change the time base that it's collecting on. So you can see now that we've slowed it right down and we're getting much more data on the screen, okay? Some really nice features there. You have also got the ability to record the data if you want to compare it to another vehicle, and you can also clear the data. So that would be if you wanted to kind of start again. Remember we said it started recording that data from the very beginning. What I do notice is when you've been recording data for a long time, it can start affecting the scrolling. So every now and then, just to clear the data, keeps that memory bank fresh and the tool working nice and clean. Okay, so now we're back to this list here. If you want to get back to that full list of data, you can click show all, okay? And you know, you might want to add a couple more things to your list. If you go show selected, we can see that we've added a few more. What you can do as well is if you want to start again and get rid of that list, you just press cancel all, and that's just wiped that list clean. So really love the live data feature on the Autel units. It's just really nice to use, having all of the data available if you want it. The search feature works nice, and the ability to scroll forwards and backwards through your recorded data from the get-go. You don't have to press record, it automatically saves it all. So really like that as well. So we've also got active test there on the engine, and there's a list of things here that we can play with. So we can turn off injectors for things like misfire, diagnostics. We've got things for the AdBlue system on there, fan control signal, fuel rail pressure desired, We can actually change the RPM, so you can increase and decrease the RPM. One thing to note is this isn't the same list for every vehicle, okay? Each vehicle has their own things that you can, activate, and it's largely decided by the manufacturer on what they can do. So this is something that will be different vehicle to vehicle. What I do find as well, and this isn't just with the aftermarket tools like this, is sometimes not all of these work. That is true for the manufacturer's tools as well. So having mainly spent most of my career working with manufacturers' tools, these activations don't always work. So don't be quick to blame the tool if something on there doesn't work. It might be just that it doesn't work on the factory tool either. So what I'm going to show you now, the last thing I'm going to show you on here is something really that takes this tool to the next level for the professional market, is these two buttons here. So we've got hot functions and service. Now, hot functions takes you to a list of the things that you might do the most. So things like battery monitoring, there should be something on here for oil service reset and things like that. So what you'll find though is if you go into one of these, if we just go into the DPF and SCR, it brings up a whole list of test features or service functions. If I just show you the other button, so service, this is just another way to get to the same information. So now instead of that list of service hot functions, we've got the functional areas of the vehicle. So here we've got powertrain. If we go into service functions, we can now see, look, we've got selective catalyst reduction, so the AdBlue system. We've got DPF up there. So if we go into diesel particulate filter, we can see we can do a manual regeneration if you wanted to do a forced active regeneration, or you can do a parameter reset, which would be to clear the ash value if you fitted a brand new DPF. So those are in there. We've also got injector quantity adjustment. So these will be for putting new injectors on the vehicle where you've got to put the new codes in. SCR, again, this is quite a hot topic at the minute. We've got lots of things in here for doing SCR system testing, so dosing measurement, making sure the AdBlue injector is putting the right amount in. System refilling, we've got visual leakage check, so it pressurizes the system so you can check it that way. So some nice features on there. So this is where basically the features are that you'd expect to see on a manufacturer's level tool. So if we go into chassis there, we've got braking. Okay, so this is just for some sort of initialization sequence on the vehicle dynamics, so maybe to do with the yaw rate sensor or something like that. This hasn't got electric calipers, so this is where you would expect to see that feature. And if we go into body, let's have a look at what we've got on there. Battery monitoring system reset, image processing module, camera alignment, so that would be an ADAS feature. So lots of really good features inside there as well. We've also got electrical, so LIN initialization, exterior lighting service functions. Let's have a look at what we've got on there. Okay, LIN new module initialization, so that might be for the climate control system where you've got the flaps inside the heater box, so I know that they do need calibrating when you put a new one on. We've got some stuff here for headlamp alignment as well. So coming back to the main screen of the tool, we've got these service items here. So again, these are just quick ways to get into those things that we saw already. So if we go into the DPF SCR, it's going to ask us to choose that vehicle and connect to the car. And we're also almost like connecting into the vehicle like we did for the diagnostics icon. However, this is just going to take us into those same features that we saw from the diagnostics menu. So again here, look, we've got hot functions and diagnosis. So if we go into hot functions, these are all the exhaust related features that we saw in that hot functions menu before in the diagnosis tab. So data manager is where you can go to see your saved information, vehicle history and reports and things like that. So For example, that data that we just recorded a moment ago on this vehicle is saved here. If you go into it, we can see that it's pulled up the 3 bits of data that we saved, and then we can play that back and actually see what we got. Again, you can also kind of scrub through it like we did before. You can also view it as a graph, which is nice. And if you wanted to only maybe look at 2 of them on the graph, you could delete one of them and then only look at the 2 bits of data on the graph. Okay, so again, you can just kind of scroll through the data with the buttons there. I've used this quite a few times now, actually. It's quite a nice feature to have, to be able to go in and just look at the data at this level, and with the graph and everything is really good. Something else that we've got then on this page here is we've got the OEM authorization. So there's nothing on here at the minute, but it suggests that there's a possibility that we're going to get a secure gateway on this tool as well. Another really cool feature is the quick link. So we've got all of your professional information and data systems here, so you can actually put your logins in here and quickly access things like all data, auto data, Haynes Pro, things like that. So it literally just links to the all data page or the page that you've that your account is on, but it's nice to have it all in one place there. So all in all, this is a really nice and I would say professional level tool for very good price. All the features that you need in there to do modern diagnostics on most vehicles today. And again, that live data feature really is my favorite live data feature out of all of the tools that I've tried. So that is one of the things I really like using about this tool. So, go and check it out.